What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Are we going to see the return of supply drops in Call of Duty? I know it sounds outlandish, but Overwatch 2 is bringing back loot boxes. So is it that far-fetched to believe that Call of Duty could be following suit? At the end of the day, both of these IPs are published by Activision. So could Overwatch just be a trial run to see how loot boxes do before they port them over to Call of Duty? Like, we're talking about Activision, a pretty greedy company that loves money. If they see another avenue to generate more revenue, are they not going to capitalize on it? Now, I understand why they haven't gone down the supply drop path recently. It's because people's perception of supply drops are pretty negative. But it seems as if the overall temperature around supply drops has sort of diminished. People are getting a little bit more lukewarm towards them. And this is why I think now is the perfect time for them to bring them back. Before I get into what I think about the potential of all this, I want to hear from you, because I know supply drops are a polarizing topic. What do you think of supply drops? Do you think it would be a good thing or bad thing to see them return to Call of Duty? Leave a comment down below and let me know. So let's talk about it. Because honestly, when I found out that Overwatch 2 was bringing back loot boxes, my mind went instantly to how long until supply drops come back to Call of Duty. Because I think there would be a large segment of this player base that would be okay with it. And some that would absolutely hate it. And I'm sure we're going to see some of that down below in the comment section. But for me personally, I wouldn't be against them coming back only if they were done properly. And I don't really know if they'll do them properly. Because one of the reasons why people hated supply drops, besides the fact that you're selling gambling to kids, is the fact that they locked content behind a lottery. And that just never seemed fair. It seemed extremely pay to win. But even then, it was just who can pay the most money to be able to attain these weapons. It sucked. And if you look at Advanced Warfare and the way it was done in that game, like, some of those weapon variants were literally game breaking. Like the Obsidian Steed for the Battle 27. I still have nightmares about that, and I never was able to earn it in game. So what, are you just saying players that don't spend money are going to have a worse experience? That doesn't seem very fair. So they can't go down that route, especially considering the fact that they've made weapons much more accessible now. I can get them, you can get them, anybody can get them. Whether it's through the battle pass or through challenges or through events, everybody can attain them. It's not like I have to spin the wheel and hope for the best. So they can't go back down that road, and that made them a ton of money, trust me, it did. So what are they going to lock behind the loot box system? Well, it'll be cosmetics. It'll be things like camos and blueprints and operator skins. But a lot of that stuff can be purchased for $20 to $30 already. So how are they going to go about putting content in the loot boxes? Is it going to be stuff from the bundles? Is it going to be different stuff than what you can earn from the bundles? Like, what are they going to do? Because whatever you do, there could be pushback, right? Think about it this way. You buy a $15 to $20 bundle and then you get a supply drop after playing 5 games. In that supply drop, you get the exact same skin that you just purchased for $20. Are you going to be a happy player? Of course not. And even if that duplicate now just gets traded in for some in-game currency, are you really going to be satisfied? No, you're going to feel like you got ripped off, like you wasted $20. So you're not going to be inclined to buy future skins. You're not going to be inclined to buy supply drops because you're just going to tell yourself, what's the point? So the only way they can truly implement supply drops again is if they have supply drop only content and purchasable content and leave them separate from one another. But then it gets into another issue of like, how are you going to be able to create all this content and have it be useful? Like, honestly, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did it. It wouldn't surprise me if they went down this road. But the more I talk about it, the less inclined I am to believe that we're going to see the return of supply drops. I think it is a nightmare for them to do it. But it's also a new revenue path for them. A revenue path that could be very fortuitous. So why wouldn't they explore it? Like, they worked once before, why not again? Now, maybe the way they do it is they say, hey, we're going to have loot box exclusive content every single season. And they're going to have stuff locked from the seasons into the loot boxes. Because as we know from Overwatch 2, the loot boxes are only coinciding events and the battle pass. So maybe they'll do something like that with the supply drops in Call of Duty. I don't know. Again, this is all hypothetical because we haven't heard anything about supply drops to Call of Duty. But it feels like this is the next natural progression. It feels like the writing's on the wall. With that being said, though, there could be a ton of pushback here. And I think people should push back if they feel strongly against the return of loot boxes, against the return of supply drops. And maybe your pushback could sway Activision to go in a different direction, because it could lock too much content behind a lottery system instead of just having that content available to you. Like, that's one of the beauties of the current system. Even though it doesn't benefit me, somebody who likes to play the game for free, it benefits players to be able to just buy whatever they want instead of earning a bunch of crap they don't want. Even though it's free crap, it's still crap. It's a bunch of junk. So maybe it's not the best method. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But what I will say is, if they put supply drops in the game, I'm going to be very curious to see how they do it. Because if they do it wrong, you're going to be cannibalizing some of your own revenue. Because people are going to look at it and say, wow, if I can earn this skin from a supply drop that I don't have to pay for versus spending $20 to get it, I'm just going to go the supply drop route, which means you lost $20. And amplify that by hundreds of players, that's a lot of money. Or they could do it properly, which locks content that would be reserved for season passes or events. And now you're just locking that content behind a lottery system. And yeah, you can pay to potentially get some of this lottery content, but you don't know what you're going to get. So I don't know. It just feels like it's a lose-lose for Activision. So I don't think they're going to go down that path. But at the same time, it's like, it's Activision. They love to make the wrong decisions. They love to piss off their player base. So maybe they do go that route. I don't know. But what I do know is it feels like Overwatch 2's reintroduction of loot boxes is a trial run to see how loot boxes perform in that game, to potentially implement them in other Activision titles. Might not be Call of Duty, might be something else, who knows? But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I hate saying that, but that's kind of what has to happen here. So I am curious, with everything that's been said, how would you implement supply drops back into Call of Duty? Leave a comment down below. How do you feel about them? I'm sure you have an opinion because, yeah, like I said, a very polarizing topic. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.